There are many ways that art, literature, and architecture influenced changes in the Renaissance. There were also many people such as Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Bernardi, and William Shakespeare who helped cause those changes.
During the Renaissance, a revolution in philosophy, science, and mathematics dramatically changed arts and culture in Europe. One example of how art changed was that there were more realistic sculptures than those in the Middle Ages, and the Renaissance sculptures weren't always about holy topics. Additionally, painters started to use more muted colors in their paintings. In literature, the weakening of the Catholic Church's influence on the daily life of people enabled writers to express their beliefs and ideas in new ways. In the Renaissance, architecture played a big part in human society. Architecture changed due to humanism's discoveries in architecture of Roman buildings caused Roman-like trends and styles in Renaissance buildings.
Art, literature, and architecture were different in the Renaissance than in the medieval times. In the Middle Ages, people and paintings were 2D, but in the Renaissance, they were 3D. Also, during the medieval period, they usually used one color as the background in paintings. But the colors in the Renaissance period paintings had colors that responded to the light. Renaissance art was both religious and non-religious, but during the Middle Ages, art was religious. Literature changed as well because during the Renaissance, more people were educated, unlike how only people of churches and monasteries could read and write before medieval times. Additionally, writers could express themselves more freely due to the Catholic Church's weakening power, which differs from medieval literature, which was mainly about religion. Architecture changed too because Renaissance buildings were more Roman-like because of humanist studies of Roman architecture.
Leonardo da Vinci was born in a town near Florence in 1452. His father was Ser Piero, and his mother was a peasant girl named Caterina, who ended up marrying someone else and having 17 other kids, Da Vinci's half-brothers and sisters. At the age of 20, he was a master artist and had his own workshop. He did not see a divide between art and science, making him a Renaissance man. He painted many famous paintings such as the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. He had many professions other than painting, such as a sculptor, inventor, and a draftsman. As an inventor, he invented a lot of things, such as a parachute and a diving suit. He unfortunately died in 1519.
Michelangelo Bernardi was a famous Italian sculptor, painter, architect, and poet living from the year 1475 to 1564. When Michelangelo was just 6 years old, his mother died, and he had to live with his very strict and demanding father, which may have contributed to this famous sculptor's ruined temper. He grew up near Florence, and Michelangelo became an apprentice to a painter in the famous city when he was 13. He then went to study under Lorenzo de' Medici, a famous sculptor. At the age of 15, in the Medici household, his art reflected Renaissance aspects like beauty, emotions, religion, and realism, as the sculptures Paida, Moses, and David show. Another famous piece of art was the painting on the Sistine Chapel, which is covered in brightly colored scenes from the Bible. This sophisticated form of art, called mannerism, which was when the artist used a complex use of vibrant colors, came mostly from Michelangelo's artwork. Michelangelo Bernardi was considered a Renaissance man because his work displayed a physical insight, physical realism, intensity, and strong emotions.
William Shakespeare was famous for his amazing plays and poems, living from 1564 to 1660. He additionally wrote books and was a skilled actor. Some of his plays were Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, Hamlet, and many others. Also, some poems were A Fairy Song, All the World's a Stage, Fear No More, and many more. Some of these poems and plays we all still see today. William Shakespeare had an enormous talent for expressing thought and feelings in memorable ways. This is why he is known as a Renaissance man.